It's so great to speak with you again. And I want to hear about what it was like filming the wedding contract and working alongside Becca Tobin.
It was like this gift that just kind of fell into my lap. Uh, yeah, it was super, super fun. Meeting Becca was like such a highlight. She's so funny. I don't know if you've heard her podcast before, The Lady Gang. Like, she's such a legend.
Yeah.
She's so perfectly ironic and opinionated and no bullshit. And it was like such welcoming energy. We instantly got along really well, and it made for a really fun shoot. I mean, the story was really fun. I had a wedding, like a my wife isn't Jewish, but it was like a partially Jewish wedding, so I related to this story so much. um and felt like really special to get to tell the story that was, part of my culture. And I think, I think the more like specific you are, the more universal a story is. So I really feel like a lot of people are going to relate to this story, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. People are going to like it.
Absolutely. You brought up something I was going to mention is that, often I feel like Hallmark is synonymous with Christmas, but so many of the movies that you've done with them have been about the Jewish experience and celebrating that. And so I'd love to hear like
Yeah,
what
I've
that's
been in
like
some of the like lone Jewish stories amidst like the Christmas slate
representing.
of movies. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I've also done a bunch of Christmas movies in my own time, but when they've come wanting to work with me to tell these Jewish stories, I'm like, I should be the one telling this Jewish story. Like, absolutely. It feels like really fun to get to kind of explore this authentic part of myself, and I feel like I get to be a part in trying to be really realistic with what that Jewish experience is like, the stress of planning a wedding and Jewish parents. I mean, any parents, let's be honest, in any culture, but Jewish parents in particular. And it's yeah, it's like it really, the more and more I've been lucky enough to be doing this, doing acting, the more I've been wanting to be part of stories that feel really authentic to who I am. So yeah, super special to be part of this one.
I love that. And I also love that this film kind of tackles that like work-life balance, right? And tradition and like, you know, you can be really ambitious, but also like wanting to be close to family and things like that. And I was like wondering, how do you balance that in your own life?
Totally. I mean, one of the things I loved about this movie is that most Hallmark movies are about like the courtship, right? Will they, won't they, are they going to make it? And then they end up together. But very few movies start off at that point where it's like, well, what happens next? So you've fallen in love, you found this person, it feels really special. Then what? And one of the things this movie looks at is exactly like what you're saying. Like, how do you create that work life balance? How do you let each other fulfill your own dreams, in terms of your own career, your own lives? How does that affect the other person? Will your families get along? Like, you know what I mean? All that stuff that's pretty like realistic to the real world of kind of building a life with another person. So yeah, I feel like this movie kind of looks at that in a way that's funny and fun and kind of charming and realistic.
Oh, that's awesome. And now, do you have a favorite or even a more challenging scene that went on while filming this movie?
uh, did I have a favorite or challenging scene? I mean, a lot of the scenes were really fun. I mean, what like I don't know if this was challenging, but when I was shooting, it was actually day one of shooting, was all the scenes in Adam's office. And one of the things I find really funny about the guy is he has these kind of minor panic attack meltdowns. And what the way that he deals with it is that he runs on his treadmill, which is in his office.
Hmm.
So the actual room we were filming in was about 40, like, so I was in Celsius. I just Canadianized myself so hard. I was about to say 40 degrees, whatever that is in Fahrenheit. Like, it was, so everyone was like a sauna. So on top of that, I am every take having to like run on this treadmill. So in between, we're like the poor like makeup teams like patting my face. I'm like I went through like 4 shirts because I'm just like looking like I jumped in a pool after every take. So that was challenging, but also really fun. And then to be honest, all the group scenes with the family, the actors in this movie were so fantastic. Colleen Wheeler, who plays Rebecca's mom, Laura Coltis, who played my mom. I mentioned Becca is the best. I mean, the whole cast were like really great actors, really solid people. And so there was just like a lot of laughing, a lot of improv. So I think, yeah, all those big group scenes were definitely my favorites to film.
You've done several Hallmark movies now. What is it that keeps you coming back?
I don't know, they keep asking me, you know? I don't know, like I don't, like anything. I don't plan. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what I'm gonna do next, but they've asked me to do. I've done two. Well, I've done two now where I've been one of the leads, and they've each been Jewish stories. And look, I come from a family of Holocaust survivors. That history is really means a lot to me and my family, and so that's probably the thing that keeps coming back to me is to get to kind of play this, this be part of this Jewish story. And to be honest, I know that like a lot of the audience for these movies are kind of maybe like Midwest America, like maybe there's not a lot of Jewish people that live in those parts of the US. And so it feels really important to me that those stories are told really authentically. And so I feel like that's what keeps sort of attracting me to do it. And they're really joyful and really lovely, and it feels like a positive thing to put into the world. So I'm all about being part of that.
Speaking of different roles and things, I have been manifesting a return to Broadway for you. That's what I've been manifesting. So I wanted to know if you could have a dream role you could play right now, currently on Broadway, not on Broadway, whatever. Whoa. What would it be?
Oh, this is a great question. So I love this question. Bring it out there. What would be the dream role right now? It might be the one role that I would be allowed to play in Hamilton, which would be King George. I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh, thousands of times on Disney+.
So I was lucky enough to play Jonathan Groff, who originated the role. I played his role on the Spring Awakening tour, and was lucky enough to meet him and be in touch with him. That would be the role. That would be the role to play. If you got any strings, you got any contacts,
we'll put it out.
We can talk after. Or positive. We'll put it on a vision board.
Yes.
We'll manifest it.
We're speaking it out. We're gonna put it online.
The first step is saying it out loud. Yes. King George and Hamilton. I'm saying it right now.
And you've been acting for so long. You've had it's such a joy to follow your career. This is like a little bit of a two-parter. One, do you just have like a favorite moment that you've like experienced in your career so far? And is there anything that you haven't done yet that you really want to do?
Oh my God, great questions. A favorite moment in my career. I'm so lucky I get to do this. So I feel like I could probably give an example of everything that I do. But if I had to say one moment, I was lucky enough last year, I wrote this one person show, and it was kind of about my experience living in New York. I did it during the pandemic when I didn't know if theater was going to be a thing anymore. And it was picked up by a major producer, and we did it at this legendary, massive theater. It was a 1,400 seat theater. I got to do it, and it was like the joy of my life to get to tell this story on stage. I'm continuing a tour, like a Canadian tour in the fall of that show. It's called Boy Falls from the Sky. And in terms of like something that I got to create from the ground up and put something into the universe that I felt was like of value, it would definitely be that show for sure. Anything I haven't done, I mean, look, stuff keeps surprising me. I never imagined that I would move to New York. I never imagined that I would do musicals. I never imagined that I would be able to make my living by living in my hometown of Toronto. I feel like life keeps unfolding in this way that I'm not totally aware of. So I feel like I'm always really excited at what's going to come next. I love doing comedy. It's the thing that I keep gravitating towards the older I get. So I feel like getting to be part of more stories that are really weird, really dark, really funny. I feel like that that's sort of like the dream right now, is to be part of something like that.
You're killing it. I'm so excited.
Thanks.
To watch this film as well. And I'm just so happy for you. It's just been great following your career.
Thanks, Krista. I really appreciate that.
Consider subscribing if you like my videos, and if you want to talk more TV and movies with me outside of the comments section, check out my Patreon at patreon.com/kmaldo. If you like this one, you can check out more of my videos right over here. See ya!